Yeah, so I sent you an agreement, or maybe it's a contract that I had signed with the Million Dollar Fan kind of show, and I'm curious what your thoughts on that agreement are.
But first, some background. I'm Brian, or Stale 2000, or Tarot Card. I was the top moderator of your #1 gaming subreddit, r/Livestreamfail, before I was recently removed from that position by the Reddit Code of Conduct team.
Is this the first time you've shown it on like the stream, or have you shown it before?
First time publicly, yeah.
Okay, got it.
I'm trying to figure out like what did I actually sign away that results in like real material harm.
I think it's probably unlikely that people sue you. I think it's probably unlikely that these people will sue you either. It seems like they're scammers though, and it seems like you haven't accepted that yet.
Well, okay. I've got two reasons for saying that.
Hello, hello, hello. How you doing, Stale? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Well, great. That's good to hear. We are graced to be in your presence, and you know, a real true celebrity in our midst. I'm just fucking around, but
Thank you.
how are you? What's going on? Tell us who you are and what you've been going through in the last 2 weeks or so.
For sure, yes. I'm Stale or Brian. So I am a person who's been in kind of the Destiny space for a little bit. I'm also very online and into Reddit. I was the top moderator of r/Livestreamfail, and then due to a series of crazy events, including a failed game show, I ended up as kind of like the most viral topic on Twitter for a couple days after making a video directed at Spez where I described all the very real problems at Reddit. And so, yeah, that's kind of the short story of it. Things have calmed down a little bit. And so things were quite overwhelming at first is what I'll say, but a lot better now.
Got it. Awesome. And so today we're going to be taking a look at a document that you provided me. And we'll be talking about some things. But before we do that, do you mind if I ask you some questions about sort of next steps for you, your purpose? Is that all right?
Sounds great. Yeah.
All right. So first, talk to me a little bit about the impetus for the video. I understand that this was meant to garner some attention for your cause. Can you talk more about it?
Yeah. So the purpose of the video was, it was basically I was trying to point out. It was basically created out of frustration because I had done a lot of work. I took kind of Reddit moderation a little bit too seriously, I would say. And I, basically everything that I did kind of failed. And I brought this frustration and put it in a video directed to the CEO of the company to give you kind of like a peek behind the curtain of the insanity behind kind of Reddit as a platform and kind of its moderators. And so I was talking about real issues. There were some. It was a very funny video. There were some things which were kind of jokes, and other things where I probably just got carried away with it. And so that's how things went.
Got it. And do you feel that it was fair that you were removed from your position as the head mod of Livestreamfails?
Yes. Mostly because I was doing a lot of stuff with that position. I would say not for the actual reason. Let me just say, not for the actual reason that I got removed, but they could have come up with a dozen other reasons which would have been justified. So I would actually say that for this whole game show thing, I almost feel like I did almost nothing wrong. But I would say that they should have removed me for many other reasons.
Got it. So when you say almost nothing wrong, you mean that largely your conduct was not irresponsible? That you might have made a mistake here or there, but it's not like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, I stand behind my thought process going into it, even though it kind of blew up in my face. Like, obviously, if I knew there was problems, I would have done it. But I wouldn't say that the thought process was wrong.
Got it. And in general, do you think that you were reasonable in due diligence?
I would say that there are some red flags in retrospect, but I did kind of leave the due diligence up to kind of the live streamers and Mythic talent. Because there was a major game show. I did not even possibly imagine that these guys would have been wrong. Because that's their job, right? But yeah, I guess screw me, right? That's what I get for making that mistake.
So you're describing like sort of the other actors who are already kind of like publicly committed to this project, right?
Yeah, there was major live streamers involved with this project. There's also a talent agency, which their job is to look into all of these things. And actually, there's two talent agencies, and both of them signed off of this. And yeah, I guess that's what I get for trusting other people. But yeah,
cool, awesome. And now going forward, is your goal to get back on the moderation team, to make a difference at Reddit, to start a movement? What is your idea? Or maybe because now you've gotten a lot of attention, to stream yourself. So in terms of your PR strategy going forward, what would you say is like your purpose or a set of purposes behind what you're doing?
Sure. So I got a couple goals. So one, there's no way that I'm getting back on that moderator team. But I'm also fine with that. So the new people, we don't always agree on many things actually, but I basically filled the mod team with normal, regular people who are not as terminally honest as me. And honestly, they're going to do a better. They're going to do a better job of running this than I ever did. So I'm fine with that. Two, these are very real problems that I was bringing up. I spent a ton of effort, and I know a lot about Reddit, the company. I have had multiple meetings with Reddit employees. I have talked to the CEO of the company multiple times in like 20, 30-minute in-depth conversations. And so, yeah, I do very much care about this,
right? You've spoken with Spez.
Yes.
Nice.
Multiple times in person, yes.
What's he like?
He's kind of he understands the platform. He's a nice guy. He has some opinions about Reddit that I think would be controversial, but I think are correct. Basically, he is aware of a lot of these problems with Reddit moderators and the platform, and he's basically trying to make Reddit a more professional, profitable company, and that's a smart thing to do. And so, yeah, he's a very, very smart guy, understands this platform well. Yeah.
Given the prior relationship, did it occur to you to send the message privately first to see if it got a response? Or like, what was the strat behind the duel? Because it's like, I send this to you, but also send it to him. Was there a fear that perhaps he wouldn't like be pressured to read it or respond to it if it were just done privately? It would just kind of go into the spam folder or whatever?
Basically, that was my thoughts. The worst thing that can happen in a situation like this is that people go silent. I would send a thing. I don't even know if somebody looked at it. And so I made a splash. And also that's my kind of a personal philosophy. I like doing things that are like audacious and splashy. And so I couldn't have done it any other way. Got it.
And the internet is quite cruel. So how are you coping with the, because there are a lot of people who are attacking you and that kind of thing and making fun of you. How has that been? How have you been coping?
I mean, I was expecting some of it, I would say, because I know, how silly the whole thing looks like. But, I'm pleasantly surprised because, for every, 9 people who are making fun of me, there's like 1 out of 10. They're like, oh yeah, this guy's hilarious. Please creating content, keep doing stuff, keep going at it. And even just that, even like the 1 in 10 people who are like kind of behind me is enough.
I will say the deadly seriousness line killed me. I was like, I don't think I've had a good laugh like that in months. Like, I don't know if it was intentional or whatever, but it was really, really funny.
I should have, maybe I need to like be more clear with my tone of voice. Because like, okay, to me, that's a very obvious comedy beat. You say something like it's deadly serious, and then you do something that's the opposite of that, which is Reddit moderation. But that was very fun.
But you do care about that. I mean, it's not like...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So, and in summary, the recommendations, which are laid out in your video and which people should watch, could you, before we get into our task for the day, could you like encapsulate in a couple sentences maybe the theme or like thrust of your recommendations?
Sure. So my thesis statement is that Reddit is the 3rd largest website in the United States. It gets, lots of views, and it's run by kind of crazy people. And I wish that Reddit would put more resources into basically these moderators. It's like an army of untrained crazy people that are running the website. And we should take lessons that are learned from other platforms, other social media platforms and influencer platforms and apply them to Reddit. So, I know it sounds crazy to say like Reddit moderators should be treated like influencer celebrities, but what's an influencer? An influencer is an idiot who has a platform. What's a Reddit moderator? Also an idiot who has a platform. And you could take partner programs or I gave out a pretty extreme option, which is like you could have like a talent agency or something. Maybe that's too extreme, but maybe more of like a YouTube partnership program. Basically, just general ideas of like how do you take these logistics and things that that exist in every other influencer industry and apply it to Reddit moderation and take it. Maybe they're not celebrities, but maybe they're like halfway there. Maybe they're a third of the way there. So yeah, that's what.
Got it. And that pertains to not to Reddit creation, like the posters, but the moderators, right? Like some sort of moderator creator system of some kind. Correct. Is what you're advocating? Okay. Yeah. Some kind of support system.
Yeah, because the moderators are the true people kind of running the entire platform. It's not the posters, it's not the commentators. Like all you guys like dance to the puppet strings of the moderators. This is what I like to say.
Interesting. Oh, okay. Sorry, a couple more questions. So first off, on the sort of broader purpose of your next PR strat, or are you trying to get these kinds of things implemented on Reddit? Do you see that as a realistic prospect, or are you trying to win the hearts and minds, or are you trying to create content yourself, or all of those?
Yeah, I think the answer is all of that. Because I still collaborate Reddit, the platform, and I still have a lot of feedback to bring to them. And, I have a lot of connections both inside the company and outside of it. And so I can both create content that talks about kind of these real problems, and I can also do kind of like funny, entertaining stuff kind of along the way.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on to talk to me and chatting. I think that it's like a bit surreal, or it must be surreal to see yourself on like Charlie, what's his name again? Moist Critical.
Yeah, Moist Critical.
Moist Critical, Asmongold, Hassan, and all that stuff. Is there anyone coverage of you that you liked?
What
or that you thought was fair?
See. Yeah, actually, there's another lawyer guy called LUS, who had some very good content, and like because of that, I actually reached out to him, and then I might be doing a talk with him as well.
Cool.
And so yeah, he gave he basically because he has experience being a moderator as well, not on Reddit but on other forums, and he actually like truly understood the madhouse that moderation can be.
Got it. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what we're gonna do right now. So you sent me. Well, describe what you sent me and what you'd like to do.
Yeah, so I sent you an agreement, or maybe it's a contract that I had signed with the $1 Million Fan kind of show, and I'm curious what your thoughts on that agreement are, and about like what does it say about the company, and like what does it say about me for kind of like signing this within kind of 24 hours, or what are like red flags, or yeah, basically.
Yeah, got it. So we're going to take a look. You sent me a document. I'm going to put it on the stream so people can take a look at it, and basically to just give my take on it, right? And see basically whether or not things make sense, or whether there are, I'm guessing this is like to see if there are like red flags.
Yeah, that, or like just I don't know how much research
more general
you've done
thoughts.
Into the company, or yeah, like what are your more general thoughts and that kind of stuff, and I can answer questions about my involvement and that sort of thing.
Is this the first time you've shown it on like a stream, or have you shown it before?
First time publicly, yeah.
Okay, got it. And you actually executed this contract and you signed it, right?
I did sign it, yes.
Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna show the contract, or at least the first page of it. I'll ask you some questions before we actually start reading through it. My intention is to read through it. I've already looked at some of it. I think I've already read through it before. And you don't mind me showing this, right? That was the whole point?
Totally
okay, cool. Got it. And the last thing I'll say is this is not legal advice. We're just analyzing this. And so don't take any of this as legal advice. And then finally, just some sort of threshold questions or throat clears or whatever. Have you ever met this person, Stephanie Hall?
Nope. This was all over Discord.
Discord DMs, correct?
Discord DMs, yes.
And how did you sign this? Was there some kind of DocuSign, or did you put wet ink on it, or how was the signature?
They sent me the Google Doc as it is, and then I figured out how to use like Notepad to like draw my signature on it. So yeah.
Got it.
And cool. then I sent it back. Yeah.
All right. And then finally, have you ever negotiated a contract before? Besides like your personal employment contracts or whatever, like
only
this kind of agreement for like I don't know, particular service or some sort of content agreement.
No. I mean, I did read through it, and there wasn't anything that I was uncomfortable with agreeing to, I guess. But
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. So why don't we get started? Do you have any problem with just like reading and going through it?
Sure, go ahead.
Awesome. So the first thing I'll note is it's a little odd to me that like everything's bolded. I will say that. And also the kind of it doesn't appear to be some sort of like standard contract in the sense of like the recitals at the start are like there's no like whereas blah 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 whereas that like maybe not all agreements start that way, but the kind of formatting of this just looks odd to me. I'm not going to say that it's necessarily indicative of fraud or anything like that, but usually they just look a little bit different. Certain things centered. Again, these are all minor things that again they're not dispositive, but they're just something I noticed. And this agreement identifies two parties, so we'll read it. This marketing content collaboration agreement, here and after the agreement, right, is entered into as of January 8th, 2026. So that's the date you executed the contract, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By and between $1 Million Fan, a reality competition television production represented by Stephanie Hall, producer. So the first issue that I think I'll identify is, what is the entity you're coming into an agreement with? Like, what is this entity, right?
So I did search them up later, and I found that there's a registered Canadian company called $1 Million Fan Inc. And so I don't know if that's a shell corporation or whatever, but there was a company created. I mean, it's registered that is officially for this thing and this thing on.
Well, is the name of it just $1 Million Fan Incorporated?
Yep.
And so the first thing I'll note is that that's not the name of the party here. This just says $1 Million Fan. It doesn't say $1 Million Fan Incorporated, a corporation, right? This is just says a reality competition. So you're making an agreement with a television production, but it's not clear to me like who the other party is. Maybe it's this corporation, but it's not clear that the corporation is binding itself, and it's certainly not describing itself as a corporation that's incorporated in Canada. I think later on the choice of law or whatever is in Canada somewhere. So I'm not saying that it's impossible that they created this entity, $1 Million Fan Incorporated, but I'll notice that that isn't the party here, and so I was kind of confused about this. But yeah, any thoughts on that?
I didn't notice that detail, I guess. I mean, I checked there's a corporation. It looked like the same thing to me. So, no.
Okay, cool. Represented by Stephanie Hall, producer. I assume this is like she's the agent of the production that you're signing, right?
I actually don't know. So this is the first time I saw this person's name, and I don't know if I was even talking to that person in Discord. I was just talking to like a different Discord name.
So that I think is the first problem. Is like you should know who these people are if you're signing a contract with them. Mm-hmm. And like this should all be clarified. I think is like if I don't know who Stephanie Hall is and she has some role in what's going on here, I would be concerned, unless it's like, I don't know, if it's like an Apple contract or something, or some sort of form thing where there's like other indicia of reliability, then maybe I'm not looking too closely at it. But if this is some kind of like custom agreement between you and a part, like it's for a very specific cool thing, I would want to know who the fuck these people are. And I think that's like a first kind of red flag. But any thoughts on
that? Yeah, I mean, my high level philosophy of this kind of thing is, I mean, you'll have to see if there's anything that I agreed to that was like dangerous to me. But I kind of just like went along with whatever they kind of asked me to do. They basically asked me to sign this in like 24 hours, and I didn't really. I thought this was like
that's kind of a red flag, like, right?
Yeah. I mean, so my thoughts was like, okay, they just didn't want me to like back out of this thing, because if they're doing this whole reality TV show thing, if they're involving me, they don't want me to get cold feet, and then like just like drop out. But it didn't. There wasn't anything here that was like seemed very dangerous to agree to, I guess.
So the first thing I'll say is the urgency thing, like what the urgency is, like that is like why is it urgent for you to sign right away so you don't get cold feet? That should be a reason for you to be like, well, hang on a second. That should indicate to you that there's like, if it's not immediately apparent why it would be urgent, A lot of scams. So like, you have to do it right now. Like my cousin is trapped in Nigeria, and if you don't do it right now, they'll die. Like that kind of stuff. So I just think that the fact that they're like, you have a 24-hour turnaround. Like, what if you needed like turn changes, right? This might not be enough to turn changes and come to a negotiation in 24 hours. It's a very quick turnaround. And to just basically ask you to do your due diligence in 24 hours for an organization which, who the fuck knows, and even meet these people initially. I don't think this is enough time, given the circumstances, for you to say that you responsibly did due diligence. And especially if, you're relying on the due diligence of others, which I don't think that you should outsource. And they're not like a known commodity. I just think that this should be a red flag to you, the urgency of it. And look at what it did. It caused you not to look up who this person is. And I have no idea who this person is. And you have to, but you're signing a contract where you were binding yourself to do something with respect to this entity whose specific corporate existence, I'm not even sure what it is, represented by someone who you don't know. It feels like a very, I don't know, red flag. Thoughts?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, sure. At a high level, generally agree.
Okay.
I guess my thoughts was like, I guess I didn't even consider that it might be a scam or something. But my thoughts was like, okay, am I really agreeing to anything that's bad? Who really cares that much? But sure, yeah.
Sure, I'm very like persnickety and very like. Sure, so like if I get too in the weeds, you let me know. This is you, so we know who you are. All right, great. In your individual capacity as operator and moderator of LSF subreddit. My question here is a couple things. One, does the Reddit TOS, does it give you permission to bind a subreddit to do anything? And do you have actual authority, basically, to be able to bind your actions as moderator to a separate contract? I'm not sure about that. I'm not saying that you can't, but did you investigate whether this was compliant with TOS?
So the answer is yes and no. So they did have a legalese statement, which is, I don't even remember what it says, but it was probably something related to like you can't do contracts. But also, people do agreements with companies all the time, and like these are like encouraged by the company. So like if you set up a Reddit AMA with the company, that's an agreement, but that's not like people do that all the time. So I did see a term that might cover this, that might say like, you're not allowed to make agreements, but I didn't think that's like puts me in danger kind of a way. I just think that I thought that was like a legal thing so that they get out of any liability. But there might have been like a weird TOS thing that prevents this. Yes.
Oh, in this contract, but as with between you and Reddit, is it within the terms of service or whatever moderation agreement that you enter into with Reddit? Do they allow you to bind your duties as moderator in this way? In other words, like, do you have authority pursuant to the agreement you've already signed up with Reddit to make these kinds of representations and promises on behalf of your actions pertaining to the subreddit? That's what I don't know, and I'm asking if you investigated that, not with respect to this contract, but with respect to your obligation to Reddit. Did you investigate that?
Yes, I did investigate, and I did find a term that made it seem like Reddit was
allowed this.
I found a term. No, I found a term that said close to disallowing it, but I thought it was like preventing liability on them. So at the end of the day, it's Reddit's platform. Anything that I sign doesn't force the subreddit to do something, I guess was my thoughts. Like, okay, I can force myself to do something.
It might be against your agreement with Reddit. You might be in breach of your obligations to Reddit to bind the subreddit in such a way, because you've already made another agreement, right? There's this other agreement, call it TOS, and I just like, if what you're saying is are you saying, I'm just to be clear, are you saying that you thought it was against TOS to do this, or are you saying you were unsure when you did it?
I would say that I'm unsure. I did find a vague TOS rule that might cover this, but it's not like Reddit stops you. Like, Reddit wants you to do partnerships. They have a whole partnership team. Oh, actually, I remember the TOS thing. Technically, you have to get, if you want to like do a partnership or something, you have to get permission from them. And I did not get permission. But yeah,
okay.
But they don't automatically disallow this stuff.
Subject to their approval, right?
Yeah, but nobody gets
Okay.
approval.
Okay, but,
Yeah.
but multiple people could be in breach. I'm just analyzing it.
Sure,
Okay,
yeah.
cool, awesome. So that's another thing that like the timetable makes it tough. Like you need to understand like, is this enough time for you to seek to comply with Reddit's TOS that you say you might be violating, or do people kind of just don't listen to or whatever? Is this enough of a window to make sure that you're compliant with your other agreements? I'm not sure about that, but we can move on. MDF and you may be referred individually as a party and collectively as the parties. Cool. Purpose. Wonderful. These dots. This strikes me as something that was put into like Microsoft Word. I'm not saying that dots, bullet points aren't present sometimes in contracts, but just the numbering and the alignment here. And usually, right, when you do a number, oftentimes they're like 1.1, whatever. Oh, they have it there. Okay, cool. Never mind, they have that. But there's just something about the format. I can't define it totally. It just looks a little weird. And that I just think the bold and stuff looks a little weird. But we can continue. The purpose of this agreement is to establish a strategic marketing and community collaboration whereby LSF, which is, you understand that this is a reference to you. So everywhere you read LSF, it should read Brian Wade, where Brian Wade supports the promotion and distribution of MDF related content, and MDF in return incorporates an LSF specific bonus challenge into the show and associated content ecosystem. I don't know what the fuck half these I would hope that MDF related content is defined somewhere. I hope it is somewhere. I hope that LSF specific bonus challenge is defined somewhere. Associated content ecosystem is defined somewhere. These are like terms of that I don't know if there's a specific meaning, but to me that they're not like they're not terms that like I'm familiar with, have like an industry meaning or something. But yeah, I'm nitpicking. This is what I do. But any thoughts on that?
I mean, I think they do define the challenge somewhere else.
Cool.
But yeah, I didn't think about like what an associated content ecosystem means. I thought it was just like generic.
Cool. The collaboration is intended to drive organic discovery of MDF through clip-based content, encourage community participation from the LSF audience, from the Brian Wade audience. See, now it feels like they're using the term to refer to the subreddit, but oh wait, sorry. I'm so sorry. LSF is a reference to the subreddit itself, so it's not a reference to you, but it's kind of weird. Hang on. Oh, now I'm not sure. Is LSF, guys? What do you think? Is LSF as a defined term referring to stale, or is it referring to the subreddit? I would assume the subreddit. Okay, we'll just assume the subreddit.
That's how most people. That's like how regular people use it.
Okay,
they call it LSF. Yeah.
Got it. Encourage community participation from the LSF audience. Create a mutually beneficial promotional loop tied to viewer engagement. This feels like a game loop, right? Like from these roguelites. All right, cool. So that's the purpose, is to do, and you understand it as promoting LSF in exchange for like promoting MDF, right? Some version of that, which with more specifics. Cool. Got it. Yeah, sub, of course. Got it. My bad. Sorry. All right, cool. I fucking misread it. My bad. Content promotion. LSF agree. Oh, see, but now here's the problem, right? LSF agrees to. Can you represent? I mean, LSF isn't the party, right? I mean, you're the party.
You mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm the party. Yeah.
So LSF is a non-party, as I understand it, right? Like,
basically, yeah, because I can't really sign something on behalf of Reddit because I didn't get permission to sign.
Can you sign something on behalf of LSF? But does it even define LSF as a party that can agree? It seems like this should be like you agree to support. Because can you bind LSF? I'm not sure. Or can you? Is LSF? Can it even be a party? I'm not sure. I don't actually know the answer to that. I'm genuinely unsure. LSF agrees to support MDF through the following, subject to moderator discretion and subreddit rules. Okay. Allowing MDF related clips, announcements, and community submissions to be posted on our Livestreamfails. Would there be any reason why they wouldn't be allowed there? It seems like you're not actually doing anything. Like, wouldn't they already be allowed there?
Some subreddits ban self-promotion, but this was an idea that I had come up with. Was what if their editors like seed the subreddit with like behind alt accounts and post stuff there, which is not
allowed.
It's actually a bit of it's a controversial idea. It's allowed, but it's controversial to say that. And so that was an idea that.
So you're allowing them to do like things that you wouldn't allow other people to do, maybe.
Things that people. I mean, we do allow other things people to do, but things that most other subreddits ban. Yes, so I'm allowing them to do things that most other subreddits.
But that LSF would ban. So are they getting special treatment in LSF?
It's technically not. It's technically not special treatment because we allow self promo. But I guess we wrote that in there to make sure, because basically that is one of their benefits. Okay. That is like the main way that they benefit is by having this, even though I guess they can do it anyway.
Right. So you're giving them something that they would do would largely be able to do anyway. And that's another red flag for me. It's like, maybe if you had started to ban their shit or it had indicated that you might, that might make sense to me. But like, why would they be like, oh my God, we need to make sure we have permission from LSF if that seems to be like assumed, you know?
Yeah.
So that's like all right. So what am I giving to them? And spoiler alert, I think that what you're giving them is like potentially like credibility. That's what's kind of credibility with respect to like believing that this is legit. Then this entire thing makes sense. That the agreement is kind of like maybe vague and ambiguous, and maybe is stuff that they're already allowed to do. Maybe that's because the agreement itself is the goal, and that's also maybe explains the 24-hour turnaround. Is like we just want to have an agreement that says we have an agreement because the agreement and the partnership itself is what is helpful as opposed to any like benefit. But here we go. Here's one. Publishing at least one pinned announcement post when mutually agreed. Informing the community of the MDF collaboration. Again, that's just becoming, I could see the same sort of incentive that it's just announcing that there is in fact a collaboration. The LSF related challenge or submission opportunity. Cool. Permitting organic posts by the sub community and or MDF editors provided all posts comply with Reddit and subreddit guidelines. So it seems like separate and apart from the pinned tweet and the collaboration, that's like the like new stuff.
Yeah.
That's like the stuff that is like they wouldn't normally get, but they would normally be able to post. But okay. But there is stuff that other people don't get, which are like pinned announcement posts and LSF related challenges. So I think that you are promising to do stuff. Here, and so it's not like you're doing nothing. Nothing in this agreement requires LSF to approve content that violates subreddit rules or Reddit policies. Cool. And just to be clear, did you actually send back and forth any edits or red lines?
I did not. No.
Okay, cool.
I signed this as.
All right. Community participation campaign. Let's make sure the numberings are correct. Cool. MDF may run a community-driven submission or clip campaign. May, not must.
Yeah, this was May. I don't know why this was actually my idea, this was talked about as something that they wanted to do, is what I'll say.
Yeah, but are they contractually obligated to do this?
I mean, I guess I was expecting them to. I wasn't thinking that they're gonna not do it, but I guess
regardless of whether they were willing to it, the contract, this May language seems permissive, not mandatory. These parts seem like you have to comply. They may feature this. They post them there, but this entire thing seems like permissive, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Next part is, so this, okay, scope collaboration, LSF bonus challenge, show integration. Okay. So this is like another thing that they're doing. So far you've agreed to do stuff. They say they might do something in response, okay? But this, I think, is they agree to. MDF agrees to create a special bonus challenge associated with the show, tentatively titled the LSF Community Challenge. Key mechanics: eligible participants submit or post clips to Livestreamfails during the filming of the show Million Dollar Fan. The primary ranking metric shall be total view count as publicly displayed on Reddit at the campaign close. Secondary tiebreakers, if needed, may include upvotes, engagement velocity, or MDF production discretion. I I would want to know like when this has to happen. Is there like a time period in which this must occur? And okay, but we'll move on.
It was going to be during the show, but yeah, they didn't
During the
say
show.
when.
During the filming of the show.
Yep.
And it was a live show?
Yeah, or I don't know if it was live, but it was yeah, parts were going to be live, but it was going to be a participant challenge. So like you know how Survivor they have challenges? This would be one of those challenges.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Prize winner. The winner of the LSF Community Challenge may receive one or more of the following final structure at MDF's discretion. Huh. A bonus advantage, immunity, or special opportunity within the show, or another prize of comparable promotional or competitive value. Exact prize details will be finalized prior to launch and publicly disclosed. This is a huge red flag, right? Red flag. I mean, what the hell is this binding them to, right? Like, there's no like commitment of any amount of money, right? It all seems to be like, at least the examples, like internal things internal to the competition, based on a structure that is to be created according to the discretion of this other side, and where the bonus is like, the metrics are there, the key mechanics are there, I guess, defined, but not clear like what this is and what the winner will get. And I think that is a red flag. It's very vague, and it seems like potentially unenforceable. Like what would you get them to do? What would be the value of anything here?
I mean, the value is having the challenge in the first place. So I consider the prize to be at their creative discretion. Technically, even if there was no prize, it wouldn't even matter to me. I wanted the challenge, and then they decide whatever the prize is.
You just wanted them to be like LSF Community Challenge and the kind of promotional aspect of it, as opposed to any specific. Okay, all right, that makes more sense.
We're not getting the prize. The content, the contestants are.
Got it. Timing and campaign windows. Oh, some timing. The parties agree that all collaboration activities contemplated under this agreement shall occur commencing on the effective date. When is the effective date? The effective date.
The 8th?
Is that? No, that's not defined as the effective date. That's the date you entered into the contract. So I hope that the effective date is defined. Let's see, control F effective. You got a problem. I don't see effective date defined. Now maybe effective date is the date of execution, but those are not necessarily the same thing. This is just when the date was entered, but an effective date is like potentially something
it says
different.
The campaign period, but I guess I don't know if it defines the campaign period anymore.
Well, this is a term with capital letters, so capital E, capital D, and so I would expect to see this defined somewhere where that is. Now, the campaign period is also. I'm worried that like ChatGPT wrote some of this. Just heads up. I'm not sure of it, but just saying. Within the campaign period. But again, okay, the parties agree that all collaboration contemplated in this agreement shall occur commencing on the effective date, the campaign period. So campaign period is defined with respect to the effective date, but effective date isn't defined. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't seem clear when this starts and when it ends. And if this is a key part of when things and obligations proceed or when things are expected, I'm just noting some potential vagueness and shit. Okay. Within the campaign period, AMA events, this is Ask Me Anything?
Yep, like a Reddit AMA, yeah.
Okay. This should also, because imagine you're a judge reading this, like, what the fuck's an AMA event? If conducted, shall be, you have to, like, think about when you're thinking about these contracts, I think that you should remember this is meant to potentially protect you, protect them against breach. And in the situation of breach, you got to think like, well, imagine you're a judge reading this and like, this is not defined. Like, can we even afford, like, what the fuck is this? And maybe the parties will agree AMA event in our like usage or whatever means Ask Me Anything. But just, again, I'm not saying that this would not be interpreted to be Ask Me Anything. I'm just like, these kinds of things I notice are like a little bit, all these ambiguities add up for me. If conducted, shall be scheduled during the latter portion of the campaign period at a time when public awareness and engagement around the show are materially elevated. Again, every time that there's a term that like includes, I'm just like, what the fuck is materially elevated? And when engagement is materially, maybe that just means like it's obvious when that is. But if there are scheduling, maybe this is like an expectation of what you guys do. Again, I'm nitpicking. The LSF community challenge shall occur during the filming of the television show on an episode as determined by MDF. Sounds like a lot of discretion for them. Specific dates, posting windows, and campaign milestones shall be determined by MDF and confirmed in writing between the parties. Text communication is sufficient. Editorial independence and compliance. LSF retains full editorial and moderation control over live stream fail content at all times. Okay, it's already a defined term. MDF retains full creative and production control over the show and challenge implementation. Okay. Neither party is required to engage in deceptive practices, vote manipulation, artificial engagement, or vote rule circumvention. That's great. All activity must comply with Reddit, live stream fails, and laws. No exclusivity. This agreement is non-exclusive. Both parties may engage in other partnership, promotions, or collaborations. Termination for cause. Either party may terminate this agreement immediately upon written notice if the other party commits a material breach of this agreement and fails to cure within 10 business days after receiving written notice. Wait, so is written notice... You'd have to write them a fucking... The thing is, how do you give written notice under this contract is... for purposes of specific dates,
is Discord
text
a written notice? Does that count?
Unclear, right? Like, would this require you to serve them or send them to the mail? And if so, where are you sending it? Any kind of notice provision. Does this have a notice provision? I don't see one. So that's... I don't know, like, when I see written notice, I usually think like a written document sent to you. And the fact that they're specifying that text communication is sufficient, but just for this, but they don't say that over here. I'm going to read that more narrowly. That's just me, though. I'm not saying what a judge would say, but the fact that there's no notice provision again strikes me as a little concerning. Okay, moving on. Engages in or facilitates any illegal, fraudulent, deceptive, or unethical activity related to the collaboration. Okay, so did you terminate? So you can terminate this agreement for cause. Takes any action that violates or reasonably risks violating applicable laws, regulations, platform terms of service, or community guidelines, including Reddit or subreddit rules. Acts in a manner that materially harms or is reasonably likely to harm the reputation, brand, or legal standing of the terminating party. Okay. Termination does not affect content already published. Okay. Doesn't affect them? In what respect? It doesn't affect anything? It's allowed to stay?
I don't delete existing or add.
Even if they breach? Even if they never give you what you asked for?
Does not affect content. I guess it's saying I don't have to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know what the fuck this means. Representations and warranties. Oh no. You represent and warrant that you are not under any contractual or legal obligation that would interfere with your ability to perform under this agreement. You might have been. So I'm not sure that you can represent that, although you did represent it. He owns or controls the rights necessary to operate the Livestream Fail subreddit in connection with this agreement. I'm not sure that you can represent that either. I mean, do you own the rights to operate an LSF? You have an ownership interest in LSF subreddit? Or you control the rights? A right?
I guess nothing beyond my Reddit shares that I own. Yes.
I don't think you do. I don't think you control a right. Yeah. I think it's all subject to the Reddit TOS, which is like, yeah. So I'm not sure that you can represent and warrant this. That your participation will not infringe or violate the rights of any third party. Again, I don't know that you can claim this. It might infringe on the rights of Reddit. MDF represents and warrants that it has full authority to enter into this agreement. I don't know that they can represent that. I don't even know what fucking entity this is. It owns or has obtained all necessary rights to produce, distribute, perform, and exploit the show. And again, I would want to see evidence of this, right? Where's you putting out, like, that part of due diligence would be like, all right, show me where this is. Maybe it's obvious based on, like, I don't know, you're talking to someone who clearly represents them, but have they made a website? Have they, is there things registered in various different places where it would be registered, maybe for trademark or whatever purposes? Do they, so I would want, like, due diligence for some of these reps and warranties. But yeah, okay. Continue on. Independent contractors. The parties acknowledge and agree that this agreement does not create an employment agency, partnership, or joint venture relationship between them. I will note that there's no like money changing hands. So to the extent people accuse you of like taking money, it doesn't appear that there's any commitment or consideration of that kind. Public statements, public announcement. It's referring to the collaboration will be coordinated in good faith, accurate, not misleading regarding commitments, prizes, or outcomes. Okay. Governing the law, the agreement shall be governed by and construed in accordance with laws of British Columbia, Canada. Why? That fucking. Did you even know where they were based out of before this?
I mean, I did know that the game show was in Canada, and I knew that the company was in Canada, so I assumed.
Okay. Before you signed the contract?
Yes, before.
I'll ask you the question. Did you read the contract?
I did read the contract.
Okay.
I went through the things that I generally agreed on. I will say that I didn't pay much attention to you are saying that you are representing this and have the rights to do so, but I went over the things that I was agreeing to do, and I didn't have a problem with that.
Okay. Independent legal advice. Each party acknowledges they have the opportunity to seek independent legal advice, have read and understood this agreement and agree to be bound by terms. You didn't really have that much. You had 24 hours. Do you have like a lawyer on retainer that you're going to be able to hire and get legal advice in 24 hours? I don't think you had the opportunity to seek independent legal advice.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I didn't show it to a lawyer, so yeah.
Okay. You shall indemnify, defend, and hold harmless all MDF and affiliates and any third-party claims arising out of any breach that you have. Okay, got it. Any negligent or wrongful act relating to this, and the indemnity survives termination of the agreement. Okay, so you've promised to indemnify. Just let you know, MDF for any breach that any claims arising out of your breach or negligent or wrongful acts relating to this. Just a heads up that you might have had. I'm not sure if this is enforceable at all. So
what is it? Does that mean that I just can't sue them? I guess I'm not planning on suing them, but
so like if someone were to sue them, that assuming this contract were enforceable or whatever, that you would indemnify them, that they could seek action against you to pay for whatever they're having to pay out to someone who sues them if it relates to like a breach of yours.
If I breached it, okay.
Yeah.
So they could sue me if I breached it. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't see they indemnifying you for any breaches that they do. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Limitation of liability and waiver of injunctive relief, except for breaches of indemnity or confidentiality obligations. Neither party shall be liable for indirect, incidental, consequential, or punitive damages. I'm assuming to each other. Wait, hang on. Except for breaches of indemnity or confidentiality. Neither party shall be liable for any damages. Total shall be capped at the amount, if any, paid under this agreement, but none is paid under this agreement. So why is this here? Mm-hmm. You agreed that no injunctive or equitable relief shall be sought that would interfere with the show. I'm just like not sure what's left to sue them over, like how this would protect you at all, because it doesn't provide for any monies paid, so you can't really pay for any damages because none are provided. You can't sue for any other like damages that might emerge out of breach. You're not indemnified at all. Only they're indemnified. And you also agreed that you won't seek equitable or injunctive relief. Just seems like, well, how is this protecting you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they dropped out, I wasn't seeing like how they could, like the worst they could do is like not do the partnership, I guess. And so, I mean, I wasn't really planning on suing them anyway, but
yeah.
I
know, but you can imagine a situation where a bunch of people sue you, right?
Okay. Oh, and then because I was a part of the supposed scam. Now,
yeah, and then it's like, well, hang on a second, I want to sue these people, and it's like, well, first of all, A, do they exist? B, they didn't agree to be indemnified. C, you contracted that maybe you're not going to seek any damages for anything, and so I don't think that you should just look at this from like you versus them. It's also like you versus the world, is to protect you from other claimants, and that's why you indemnify them, right? Presumably. Mm-hmm. You might be on the hook if they can find you. They know who you are, and if they try to sue you, they can claim a breach of you or whatever. I don't think that you're protected at all.
Okay.
Okay. inurement. This agreement shall be binding upon and shall inure to the benefit of the parties and their respective successors and permitted assigns. So if you want to pass this on to your son. Rule of construction: the rule that ambiguities to be constructed against the drafted party shall not apply to this agreement. Okay, so all the ambiguities that whatever equitable rule or contractual rule is not applicable here. Headings are for convenience only, shall not affect interpretation. Okay, and then you have this whole contract clause. This agreement constitutes the entire agreement between the parties. It supersedes all prior negotiation or agreements, whether written or oral. Any modification must be in writing and signed by both parties. Okay. All right. What are our thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I didn't consider some of the things you're saying about like, okay, if I get sued by a random person, I can't like push off the liability to them. But I am like trying to think of like the worst. I mean, we're already in like the worst. Well, not exactly the worst case, but we're in like a pretty bad situation, and I'm trying to figure out like what did I actually sign away that results in like real material harm.
I think it's probably unlikely that people sue you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably unlikely that these people will sue you either. It seems like they're scammers though, and it seems like you haven't accepted that yet.
Well, okay. I've got two reasons for saying that. So reason one is I technically have not. I'll agree that some of the things are fuzzy here. Some of these things are red flags. But there has been no technical proof of it being, somebody's money being stolen, and proving it to be a scam. And the second reason is they are sending around threatening messages saying, if you call us a scam, we'll sue you. And so, my honest opinion is I actually don't know. And so I'm not going to like make a huge statement saying that they are scams if I don't actually have any evidence of it. But sure, I'll agree that there's lots of red flags, and you could say that it's cope or whatever.
Well, I can say that's my opinion that this is unlikely to be a legitimate offer, and that there's indicia of it being scammed. And if they want to sue me, fucking try it, bitch. I dare him to sue me. I dare you to fucking sue him. You're not going to do it?
Well, I was saying that because there's some argument that could be made that like, okay, because my post went viral, that caused the whole thing to blow up. And so I think I'm a little bit more vulnerable than you guys are, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay, on balance, do you think that is most likely that they're trying to scam you, yes or no?
Yeah, I would say there's more red flags than not, I would say, especially because
I'm not asking about the red flags. My question is very specific. On balance, you think it's more likely than not that they're trying to scam you and others, yes or no?
I honestly don't know, because I don't know what you mean by scam, right? Like, are you saying that they're doing
intentions
something
to try to take money with fraudulent promises that they don't have any intention of
like in a way that's illegal? I honestly,
I'm not claiming that. I'm claiming that they are selling a bill of goods that they know they have no intention to keep.
I don't, because I can imagine multiple situations. I can imagine that they're faking it till they're making it.
What do you think is most likely? Well, if they're faking if they're faking it till they're making it, then, and if they don't actually have any intention or ability to like do the promises that they're binding themselves to, then isn't that by definition a fraud?
Yeah, I will. Let me bring up something a little bit unrelated of like one thing that very much feels like a lie, which is that they seem to have been representing that they were doing a deal with Amazon Prime and that they had this like set in stone. They were like telling everybody something about like this Amazon Prime deal. And then they later told me that I couldn't announce that. So I tried to announce that this was like Amazon Prime was announced, and they said, actually, no, that has not been signed yet. And that's like an admitted statement. They said that like they had not had a deal yet. And so if that's the case, if everybody thought that they had Amazon Prime in a set in stone deal, and that's not true, then yeah, that would make it a scam. Yeah.
So I'll ask you again. But I'll ask again, based on all the circumstances, everything that you currently know, have you accepted, or do you think it's the case that more likely than not, these people are scammers?
I would say yes, because of the Amazon Prime thing. I would say just because of that one thing, I would say that's enough to push me over the edge. Just saying it's more likely, yeah.
Okay. Great. I have thoughts. I think that this agreement is sketchy. I don't think that it's clear who you're having a contract with. I think that the nature of their obligations seem elusive to me. At times, it feels like they have full discretion to do stuff. It seems like they're binding, to do some things. Maybe it's just this whole like cross advertisement or whatever. But it leaves me with a lot of questions. The lack of any effective date and certain defined terms kind of being opaque to me seems weird and odd. The fact that the terms seem especially favorable to them, that you don't seem to have much remedies at all on a situation you might imagine where if you're, think about like any kind of IP issue, like that's not sorted out here. I can imagine an intellectual property issue emerging. So yeah, I'm like, the fact that everything's bold, it doesn't seem like it's been analyzed by some sort of like reputable or thoughtful counsel, and the fact that this doesn't appear to be something that's drafted carefully by an attorney, it would seem to indicate, well, that makes it less likely that they have this kind of capital to do this kind of show, where presumably they would need to like get insurance and all the fucking things that you would want, right? And the fact that the communications happen entirely through Discord, that's a red flag, man. You don't know who this Stephanie person is, right? You had 24 hours to respond to it. Yeah. It's not clear that you have even authority to sign up to the things that you are signing up for. Your warrants and reps, like, how can you do that? How could you possibly do due diligence in this amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I honestly was just banking on Mythic Talent having my back on this, but I guess maybe that's a bad.
Can't do that, man. That's irresponsible.
Yeah,
you got to grant that's irresponsible.
It is, but there's another downside to what you're talking about here, because if I do all these, here's what you gotta understand. I'm like kind of a nobody, and if I am,
you're a celebrity. You're a celebrity.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
The point that I'm saying here is I've tried to do so many of these partnerships with gaming companies before, and I get kind of blown off. And so if I am, my thought process is if I'm slowing down, every step of the way, I do kind of lose it, right? And so, like in this case, you're right, but I'm wondering, like, okay, let's say I do all of these things, I talk to a lawyer or whatever, and I do all these things just to do like a Reddit AMA. Like, is that, is that going to kill the thing, or like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would like. I don't understand why. Like, if it's not worth it, I'm not saying that you would have needed to get a lawyer to do this, and that like hiring a lawyer made financial sense for you in this context. But even just not as a lawyer, a legal person, I think that there's enough indicia for a lay person here. Reasonably, I mean, you're someone who works for a living. You're someone who. You're not representing that you're totally like clueless and like you don't have any common sense. You have, right? I mean, you have the ability to look at red flags and stuff. And so yeah, I think that this, I'm going to be honest, I think this is like a fair basis to remove you from the Reddit mod. Now, I'm not saying that that's a good thing that happened, but when you say like, well, they should have removed me for other stuff, why isn't this sufficient? If for anything, if you violated the TOS stuff.
Sure. So I will disagree with it on, we'll call it like a meta level. Okay. So what I'm saying here is, I wish stuff like this would have gone through Reddit first. Right? And so like, one of the reasons why I was moving so quickly on this and not doing as much due diligence as I should is because I kind of got blown off by Reddit in the past, and it never goes anywhere. And so, you could still say that is my fault, but from a systemic level, it's not completely out there that a company like this would want to work with a subreddit. And, they really are, it really is their platform. They really are supposed to be the adults in the room protecting me from kind of my own mistakes. And so that's what I do still, even though we'll say it's my fault, like for sure, but I do think that there are systemic issues that they should fix to prevent, the moderators from making those mistakes.
So you think that they were negligent in not providing you counsel to funnel this agreement through?
Yeah, I think that they should have a whole pipeline, a whole partnership team, which is like the top of the funnel thing, which this stuff goes through. So it doesn't like go to, I thought I was being a go-getter here, I guess. My mistake. Because like nobody else does this. Basically, no other moderator, and they basically just don't have a pipeline for doing something like this that should be obvious. Like I think it's a very obvious thing that a company should do a partnership with subreddits, and that's what Reddit should be there to kind of facilitate.
Well, yeah, I like.
Yeah.
I think that there are better things that Reddit could do to make sure that they're, doing helpful things for moderators. Maybe. To be honest, I don't. You have way more experience in the Reddit mod side of things. I have like none, and so I mean, I'll defer to you on what you think is reasonable given the circumstances for Reddit to do as a company. And I certainly have no good ideas there about how to like grow a business like Reddit's. I'm not that kind of guy. But yeah, no, it's.
I mean, the better question I'll ask is let's say you weren't talking to me. Let's say you were talking to like an influencer, and they were like going through these contracts.
I'll be like, fuck this. What is this shit? Who are these people? Get me on the phone with $1 Million Fan. Who the fuck is Stephanie Hall? Yeah. I need their email. Like, let me talk to this person right now. Voice call. I'm not doing this through Discord. You guys need to give me a letterhead. I need to know where the business is. Like, those are like the first thing is like, what am I? Sure. Who am I contracting with? Like, that's a big thing. That's what I would do if I were like repping like a influencer. I'd be like, oh, who are these people? How do they contact you? Do you know their names? Okay, put me on the phone with them, and I'm gonna ask them questions. And those are the things like with like a, I don't know, with like a dad voice, not with like a kind of like, sure, oh, that's so great, like a kind of critical scrutiny voice.
Sure. I just let me rephrase again. Would you agree that the other influencers and talent manager who got tricked, like whatever mistake that I did, they did it like 10 times worse? I guess that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, it depends what they did to try to entice them. I only know this, so maybe they have like my guess. If you put a gun in my head, my answer is like, yeah, but like then you're basically saying is like treat me like an infant and treat them as like because I should be to a lower standard than them, and I guess do you want to grant that?
I mean, I'll grant it compared to an agency, maybe not an influencer. Okay, I think of myself as smarter than most influencers. But okay. I don't know about the agency.
So the agency. No, listen, yeah. Listen. There are, ask the people of Minnesota. There are organizations that, and in fact, states and governments that get taken for a ride. So I'm not. Listen, I'm not trying to say that you are like a bad person because this mistake happened, man. Like, I think that could, and people who are like attacking you and going crazy. I'm not saying that I agree with all that stuff, and I don't want you to take it to heart. Like this kind of shit happens, man. Like there are people, you were excited about something, right? And there's nothing wrong with being excited about something. There was like a good opportunity, right? And you wanted just to like, maybe you wanted some power too. I heard that in the fucking, that was funny. You wanted some fucking power, but like this was like a cool idea you thought might make some people excited, might increase your clout a little bit. And so it's disappointing when it doesn't work out. But yeah, I don't think that like it's wrong to be excited about stuff. And I'm glad that you acknowledge it's more likely than not that these guys aren't legit. I think that's true. And but I think you can use this opportunity to your advantage, perhaps, never let a good crisis go to waste. This was Rahm Emanuel. And yeah, like, I don't think that you need to forever be apologizing about this or doing the rounds on it. Because I think that, you have more to offer to the world, and I'm excited to see what that is.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of my thoughts too, is like, in my follow video, I did say, this is my fault, but then I'm trying to redirect it to, so I am like trying to redirect things to Reddit, not necessarily to absolve me, but to more to like try to solve the problems.
Yeah, leave Spez alone. Come on, dude. He didn't really do anything. Yeah. Come on. Leave Spez alone. What the fuck did he do? Come on. Take the L and leave Spez alone, and you can start with the new subreddit and have some, it can be fun. What is it called? Sub Alliance? See, I remember this shit. Sub Alliance. Make the Sub Alliance sub fucking great again. I mean, I don't know. Like, but Spez is, he doesn't have anything to do with this shit, all right? What does he have to do with this shit? Okay, maybe he should have had a fucking lawyer for you, but really?
I would say that so I'm not saying that he's at fault for this thing. I'm saying that this is like a random example, that's like indicative of other problems at Reddit. Like, I mean, the high level, very general problem is I don't think that moderators get enough resources. Forget if this thing applies or not. It's just, this is like one example of that, of like basically all these problems about moderators not being kind of treated well enough or not getting enough resources or not being professional enough are still very real problems. Maybe this example applies to it, maybe it doesn't.
Okay. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. And I think that there's like a lot of fun stuff to come from the stale universe. Yeah, man. I saw some of the videos, the one of you doing the running up the tree, that made me laugh.
I mean, did you get it's a programmer joke?
When you explained it to me, I thought it was just like a Naruto thing.
Oh yeah, I told you about you later. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm ignorant about that. I don't get all the references. All right. Let me think. Other stuff. What's on your mind? Do you want to keep talking? You're not going to loop on this with everybody, right? Who are you going to talk to next?
No. Well, I don't want to talk about the $1 million fan thing all the time. I do want to talk about Reddit stuff. Is my real answer, because like sure. there's lots of stories I could tell about that, about like the crazy power games that I did to take over a subreddit. Yeah, I mean, who else? I mean, Asmongold has a podcast. They want me on that to talk about Reddit.
Shit,
so that's crazy. Yeah,
that'll be fun.
It's all cast, yeah.
Tell him he's being a little bit of a bitch with his political takes, though. You won't say it. Yeah. You won't say it because now that you're a celebrity, you're gonna schmooze with them. You're just like the rest of them.
Yeah, I'll have to find an example to bring up.
Yeah. Hassan got you pretty bad, though. He was pretty mean.
He's so mad, dude. He's so mad. Yeah, especially.
He was a dick to
you. Okay, what's hilarious is that he's one of the few people who understands that, like,
the power of LSF.
Power. Yeah, because he's the one subject to the negatives of it, and so it's like a very huge irony where my biggest enemy believes me the most.
Is Hassan your biggest enemy?
Well, he's not my enemy. I mean, he's not somebody that I'm trying to destroy. I'm just trying to think of like people who want to destroy me. Who's the biggest?
I don't understand. I thought you said he was your biggest enemy. Do you mean just like the biggest? Is he an enemy of yours?
Sorry, he's the biggest person coming after me.
Got it. And that's what you mean by enemy, that they're coming after you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, no, I think Asmongold is bigger, right?
He's not coming after me, though. He doesn't obsess with me every day.
Oh, I watched 3 reactions. I watched I almost said Charlie Kirk, Moist Critical, Asmongold, and Hassan. I watched the 3 of those ones in preparation for our call. And they seem to be pretty rough.
Okay, the other people are making fun of me, but Asmongold is not talking about me like once a week. Like so Hassan, I got doxxed a year ago. Like so Hassan brings me up on his live stream. Like has done this multiple times before. Not just about this new video. This is just like he's just taking advantage of the opportunity.
He's doxing you?
No, I was doxed by other people, and then because of that, he was attacking me on his live stream multiple other times in the past.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. That's fine. Yeah, that's fucked up.
But yeah, I guess where else do I want to go with this? I mean, I mean, a high level, like more than just Reddit, I do like doing like my style of content is like crazy audacious things. Like who would think to make a video directed to the CEO of Reddit? And so I think there's a lot of ways to go with that. Like, it's ironic because nobody.
You should do it to Trump. You'd be like, Mr. Trump, I have a problem of serious deadliness, and it's like, I don't like the East Wing renovations, and I think that's like a good bit, you know?
Yeah. Okay. He's a little bit too big. You got to choose. Yeah. You got to choose your targets wisely. It's got to be something that nobody else is thinking.
You should do Chuck Schumer, and then me and Hutch can react to you.
He's a politician. People know about him. I'm saying like a better example.
Like streamers. CEO of Walmart. What did he do to you?
The point would be to pick some real issue that maybe nobody else is thinking about, and then go way too deep into it, and then kind of bring the issue to them, like because they're the people with the power. So because nobody would think. Take my example. Like the joke is that nobody, like the CEO, is obviously not going to watch my video that's directed at him. But based on all that's happened, I can guarantee you that he saw my video, right?
True. I think he probably did.
Yeah.
Is that fun?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
It is fun, yeah.
Who do you think is the most famous person to watch that video? There's probably some like big people who watched it.
Yeah, I mean, it was all over right wing Twitter too.
Oh
I mean,
shit!
maybe probably someone serious.
Maybe like Mark Carney or Keir Starmer. That's pretty interesting. Like,
yeah.
fuck. There's some angles there, but you want to focus more on like issues that people haven't thought about, right?
Yeah, I'm focusing on, we'll call it like low hanging fruit that nobody else is thinking about. Like nobody thinks that you can just like find employees who work at companies and just like contact them. Like you can just like, it sounds crazy, but like there are people in charge of companies who nobody else reaches out to, nobody else talks to, and you can just do a very in-depth, 20-minute kind of explanation of some huge problem, send it to them, and they'll probably look at it because nobody else does that.
No one else messages CEOs to do things.
Not as much as you think. I think that the random. I mean, I don't think that a random consumer would think that you can just write a letter to somebody and they might actually read it.
My favorite stories of those are the people who like wrote to J.R.R. Tolkien, and he like responded with like these big elaborate things. Yeah, I mean sometimes reaching out, you never know. But I would like not wait if you're reaching out. Well, I don't know what you want to do. But like you kind of talked in that video like a supervillain, right? So Batman, you think you can thwart me? So like, I mean that's funny. I thought it was a great bit, but I don't know if it's you get more flies with honey.
Yeah, it can't be. The problem is it can't be completely serious because nobody's like that's almost boring. But it's like how do you play how do you ride the edge?
See, I'm really boring, so I can't give you advice there.
But yeah, there's even like more audacious plans. Like you could like print out like 50 flyers and like put every single flyer on like every single like phone booth that's like surrounding their office until like every employee sees it. It's like it sounds deranged, but there's nothing illegal about putting up posters.
I guess not unless ICE is there. I don't want you to get shot by ICE. Still, I really couldn't handle that. Like, I know, but like they're doing some shit. So as long as you don't live in Minnesota, I think we're good.
Yeah.
What else? How's things other than this? Can we talk about something other than your plans of world domination?
Yeah.
Let's just have like a 5-minute cool off. Like what's been good? What are you seeing? What other issues? The zeitgeist. What have you been watching? Stuff like that.
Oh, like, honestly, I'm outside of politics. I almost just like don't care about politics anymore. I'm just like so doomer.
Oh shit.
I think a lot of people are like that. They're just bored of it.
But are you gonna vote blue no matter who though?
Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I'm nonpartisan at this point.
Did you ever vote for Trump?
One time. Well, here's the thing. I'm a center-right conservative. So like,
wait, you voted for Trump? When did you vote for Trump?
The first time.
Okay, in 2016. All right.
Yeah, so I mean, the best that you're going to get out of like a center-right conservative is like be like a non-voter, right?
You're a conservative?
I'm a center-right. Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. I a decade ago, I interned with the Washington State Republican Party. I met Mitt Romney.
What the fuck? I did not expect this.
I'm a San Francisco Republican, though, right? How far right are we really here?
I had no. You have to have a video with a MAGA hat on next. That'll be a great bit. If it's like you go full MAGA, and you just like announce it and you put on the MAGA hat for like 45, 47. I had no idea that you were a California Republican.
It's it's an interesting phenomenon. Like, do you know about all the I'm calling it like tech bro politics. Like there's this whole like tech bro movement in San Francisco and California.
These are like the worst people in the world. These are like the Peter Thiel, the Yarvanites. They're like the literal scum of the earth. I hope that you're not like aligned with them.
Okay. I mean, I'll agree that Peter Thiel is he's a.
No, all these guys are like
they're
like meta humans. They like don't even want humanity to exist. Who do you admire among them? Are you a Yarvin guy?
No, I'm not. No, that guy's crazy. Right? I'm talking about people like Beth. Do you know Beth Bezos? Not Jeff Bezos. Beth.
No, I don't know who Beth Bezos is.
He's one of the most popular tech bros. He's basically there's a bunch of people who are just like really into artificial intelligence, and they're like AI is going to take over the world, and the government needs to get it out of my face so I can make more AI, and also screw the wokies. Like no more HR training for us, and that's tech bro politics.
Oh shit. So you don't
Yeah.
think that?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a white genocide?
No. No. Okay. The tech bros, they're pro diversity. They want all of the Asians and Indians to like have their H-1Bs so that you can hire them for their companies.
Interesting. Who would you say among them, besides Beth Bezos, is your go-to inspiration?
Like it'd be somebody like Mark Andreessen.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I mean, okay, here's the thing. I don't know what his real politics are. I just hear about his tech politics, and it's like different. It's like a different like axis here that we're on. It's like a different plane of existence.
Uh-huh. You sounded like Eddie Brava right now when he was talking to me at this word war debate thing. Different plane of existence. We live in a clock. But interesting. This is like an insight. I'm glad we did this because I had no idea that that's how you rolled.
Yeah, I mean it's how everybody, and I guess what I was saying here is like it's a very, you're not gonna get it unless you've like spent years in San Francisco. It's a whole different world here, and it's not what regular people talk about. The only thing I talk about with normal people is like startups. Like, what company are you working on? What's your side project? How do you like Claude Code or do you like ChatGPT? It is a crazy world here in SF.
Well, I very much appreciate you coming through and having this chat. I think it was a productive chat. I think that we ended on good terms. And yeah, no, just let me know if you ever want to chat again. We can shoot the shit. But appreciate you and you know, best of luck out there. Again, the internet can be cruel, but I hope that you don't take it all to heart.
I mean, it's fun and exciting. So you know, I never look back.
All right. Well, have a good one, man, and best of luck.
Yep. Bye.
Peace out.